Hello there, and welcome to the Paranormal Puffin, a potent puffin sideshow. And I'm your host, Jake Thomas. And sitting here beside me is Kita, the Elk Hound. Today, I'll be talking about a mythological creature coming from Celtic and Norse mythologies. They are mostly found in the Northern Isles of Scotland, especially around the Orkney archipelago. And these are the Selkies, also known as the Seal Folk. And these are shape-shifting sea creatures that are known as the Fae of the Sea. They change from seals to humans when they shed their seal skin when they come onto land. It's often debated how often they're able to come onto land and become humans. Some say that it can only happen once a year. Some say it's every ninth night they're able to do so. There's other variations on how often they're able to come onto land and become human. And they say the most likely times for you to be able to encounter a Selkie in human form is on Midsummer's Night or on All Hallows, as those are both Fae festivals, and the Selkies like to come ashore to celebrate those festivals as they are a type of Fae. And they are often depicted as being larger seals with very human-like eyes, and sometimes they're depicted as being more mermaid-like, where they're, part human, part seal, and then once they're on land, they become fully human. But I think they're typically just larger seals is how I generally see them depicted and how I picture them in my mind. Now, they're often the subject of stories that are romantic tragedies, as probably the most famous tale is the Selkie wife. Most stories are kind of variations of this, where a female Selkie comes ashore and she takes off her seal skin to become human, and she's dancing in the moonlight, and a fisherman who has recently lost his wife and is wanting a mother for his children comes upon her, and he takes her skin, takes the seal skin from her, so that she is pretty much forced to go with him so that she can try and get it back. But Selkies can only get their seal skin back if it's given to them willingly. So he holds the skin hostage from her, keeping it locked in a chest. And she eventually becomes his wife, and she takes care of the children, and they say that she generally loved the children because Selkies are gentle creatures, and they love to take care of children, even those that aren't theirs. And so, even though she found fulfillment in taking care of these children, she longed to go back to the sea, longed to go back to her home. And she sat by the window in kind of a depressed state, just longing to go back to the sea. And one day, the fisherman leaves, and he forgets to take the key to the chest. And his children are very curious about this chest, because they've never seen it open, and they don't know what's inside. And they see that key, and they take it, and they open the chest to find the seal skin. And not knowing that it actually belongs to their stepmother, and that they don't know that she's truly a Selkie. They think she's just a woman. So she asks the children to have the seal skin, and they willingly give it to her. So she is able to take it. And once she has it, she runs to the sea as fast as she can, putting on that seal skin and returning to her true seal form and going back to the sea. And the fisherman, he's angry, and he keeps returning to the waterside, hoping to find her again, but he's not able to, as according to the legends, that once a Selkie has recovered her skin, then she's not able to appear to the fisherman again. So even though she's right in front of him, he is not able to see her. And that's basically how the story goes. This is kind of a splitting part here. It's often debated what became of her after that. Some say that she just stays in the sea and, she stays there, she minds her own business, does her own thing, and she's living a fulfilled life in the sea. Others say that she became very vengeful and became a sea witch and extracts her revenge on unsuspecting fishermen and is often attributed with the deaths of fishermen who die at sea. Which is kind of, I find odd, because Selkies are generally referred to as being gentle and kind creatures, unlike other types of water creatures to come from the Celtic regions. And so I find that interesting. Now, I kind of talked about it with that story, with how female Selkies are typically attributed. That's generally how stories involving female Selkies go, is someone takes their seal skin and they're kind of forced to go with them. Now, eventually, their seal skin, they say, always finds its way back to the Selkie, and they're able to return. There's some differing views on what would happen if the Selkie were to have their seal skin destroyed, as they are immortal, as they are a type of fae, but they say that if their skin is destroyed, some believe that will actually cause them to die. Others say that just will trap them in their human form, and they'll live forever in human form, but they'll be in a very kind of distraught and depressed state of mind as they're now trapped in that human form. But male Selkies, on the other hand, the roles are kind of reversed. So with male Selkies, they're always described as being extremely attractive and able to be very good at satisfying women. And it's often said that they seek out women, specifically ones who are unsatisfied, so that they can kind of take advantage in that way. They say that oftentimes unsatisfied women will seek out the Selkies to find that satisfaction. They say that if a woman were to go to the sea at high tide and shed 7 tears, then that would attract a male Selkie to her, and he would be able to take care of her in that way. In some stories I've seen, they even say that male Selkies are very fertile, so sometimes women will seek them out for the purpose of becoming pregnant. And there are a lot of accounts of women having children from Selkies, and they say that a Selkie male who has children with a human female will disappear for 7 years, and after 7 years he will return to her and take the children back to the sea with him. And then once he does that, he will pay the woman. I don't know how he pays her, and I don't know, in money or food. I don't know. I never found anything about how he pays her, but he will pay her for taking care and raising his children for 7 years. And that's kind of, how the Selkies operate. And we kind of talk about what they are. Some people believe that they are fallen angels. Some early Christian theory states that they were actually souls who were trapped in purgatory. and waiting to go through that. But the most likely scenario of what the Selkies actually are is they're likely Finnish travelers who were traveling on their kayaks, because their kayaks were made from seal skin. They also wore seal fur as clothing, and they would often come ashore, and since their clothing would be wet, they would take them off to let them dry. And I could see, early Celtic people seeing these foreigners come ashore, and it looks like a giant seal coming because they're wearing seal fur, and then they see the fur come off, and there's a human there. And so that could be where some of these stories originated, is just the early Celts interacting with Finnish travelers. And it makes sense that some of these men in the region would take these female travelers as their wives, and they use these stories as the justification for it. And could also be vice versa, women who weren't satisfied with the local pool, they see these travelers coming, and they seek out these travelers who they know will be gone soon. And again, they use the story of the Selkie as their justification or reasoning for what has happened, and where these children that they're about to bear came from, without ruining their own self, their status or whatever. So that's likely where it is, but who knows, it could be real. They're definitely an interesting creature. I enjoyed reading about them and learning about them. And yeah, that's about all I really have for the Selkies. If you have any cool stories about the Selkies, if you've ever encountered one or think you may have encountered one, I'd love to hear about it. You can reach out to me on Twitter at either Potent Puffin or at Paranorm Puffin. I have accounts for both. You can reach out to me there, or you can email me at paranormalpuffin@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your stories, and if you enjoyed, please leave a review or like or comment, something. Let me know that you're enjoying my content, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll catch you all next time, and as always, have a good day.